Hey yo, this is Eagle Eyes of the Sea, and here are the stories about the chapter of the Bible verse. It's called Leviticus. Leviticus means if you're in pride with everything, there had to be growth and God's forgive. You know, I've been hearing this before about God's forgive, like apologize or plus not apologizing. Not and above all other people, they don't care. Growth, that's things what the ages is they are. When God to ask you something like if you're part of the age that you have, you'll have to feel in your life. But it's easy. You'll have to just solve the solutions in your life. If you're aging, like you're in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. When you growth about like the great age that you've been through in a lot in your life, it's a good thing that you need to have to be born. You know, my grandkids or granddaughters, grandsons, or great grandparents. It can be anyone. You know, whoever people there who are with God that hey they can keep up the age is a good thing that we need to talk. If you want to talk about the age, there's something you need to learn. And God's forgive is also. But don't worry. If you want to apologize, God will ask you something nicely. If God wants you to listen, try do this again. And you'll make it happen. That's why God wants you to make something very special. If you want to be very special, that's the best thing that you need to do. And especially people's ages. You know, God wants you to be smart. If you're partied in the 30s, 20s, 40s, you know, when you're a young adult, be living and get some exercise. That's all you do. That's all you do in your life, you know. But at the meantime, you still have to stick it together. But it's not a wrong thing if you think of something wrong, if you're not in a judgment with anybody. But it's the best thing that you need to do is just follow with your life. Follow what God says. You know, when you're in that age, you'll have to feel everything about it. Especially with retirements and shit, you'll get used to it. But what money you collect, like a lot, you can make it in the 20s. But 30s are hard because you need to stick together with the money that you need to owe to do that. When you go to the wedding, this shit might help you. If you need a girl. If you want a girl to have to get married with, it's a good thing that the age is the perfect thing. You know, like for example, I've been dating almost like a long time ago when I was in upper high school. We're in good age. God wants us to have a great age as the same age, but it's not that bad. But just have to feel everything you have. Well, I only have one daughter, but that's only one thing that I heard. But it's a good age because Mariella, she's like 9 or 8 years old, I think. Yeah, but it's nice that when we see everyday people, they can come around for their age, but God wants you to become in a good stories. If you're in a good hit stories about the Leviticus, there's a good thing that you need to keep their growth better, you know, and be popularized in every people, you know, in their age. But it doesn't matter because, you know, I have my 2 sisters. They're in a good aging mode, but they've been exercising lately, so that's why they're pretty skinny. You know, look at them. They look skinny. That's why I was mentioning to every people what they have, and that is why every people who have their experiences in life. When you have experiences in life from work, it makes a good example, but you need to make good ways to come. But it's the best thing you need to do is just be part of the story, you know? It's never gonna end like that, you know. I only have like few kids, and that's the only one thing I have, you know. And I don't have any sincere theory to come up with a story because I've been here for a while when I was solo, you know. That's why I'm just trying to do my best if I can for this age. When you go out the oldest, ooh, that's wrong. I would never do in my life, you know, and it's annoying. So that's why I'm walking away. That's why I don't give a shit about the elders, you know. Think about the same age. Think about it, and think about what kids did you get. That's why, from the aging, what God tell you, God wants you to be in the age yourself. You know, that's all you got to do, and that's it. And don't forget, if you want to apologize, just forgive anyone. You don't need to be sincere to fulfill everything what you have in your life. That's what God's message is about you. That's why you need to learn, grow, and be perfect with girls, and be perfect with grandparents and all that kind of stuff. That's a parental thing that we have family. But family is important, but it's a great thing. That's why you need to learn everything what we have in the family. And that's it. Well, I guess that's about it. So hopefully the chapter 3 Leviticus is meaning for life. So this is guys at the sea. Keep it out of sea. Keep it real.